Hello, Maurieo! In this video I'm going to take a look at cross sections. First of all, we'll just start off with a very classic cross section of sort of a road cutting, because we're going to be looking at cross sections as they relate to roading mostly. Now this is a classic roading cross section for a box cut where we can see the various cross section. We can see the alignment of the road down this way, and then the various cross sections going across this way, like this. Cross section 1, 2, 3. Not a very good drawing, but just a blurry one. And then if we take the cross section out of the 3D here, put it into a 2D, we can see the road here, our batters, and what have you. And from these cross sections we're able to determine, first of all, the area of the cross section, and as we'll see a little bit later on, the area, the volume of material between the two cross sections, which is always quite useful for our calculations. So here it is again in a more vertical situation, where we've got a situation perhaps where we've dug out for a pond or something of a regular shape such as this, and there we can see there that we've got the cross section. So it's just a cut or a slice straight across. And in mathematics, of course, we can do many cross sections at different points, and we can see here that each one of the little bits of paper in the graph there is actually a cross section of a particular shape, but that by moving them all together like this, they're always generally in a particular direction. We can see how they work, and how we could work out the volume under a particular graph, or the area under a volume under a particular graph, like so. So they're used in mathematics as well. Moving ahead now to your typical roadwork situation, essentially you've got three types of cross sections with regards to cut and fill. The top one, A, is a section where all of the material, or the original ground, is cut. It's a cut cross section, and in B it's all fill. So we've cut in A and we're filling in B. And then if we look at C, we've got a situation where we've got cut on one side of the road and fill on the other. And in this case here, they've called it a side hill section. That's not a name that I'm particularly familiar with, but nonetheless it could well apply in some countries. Alright, and here's just a more complicated situation of this. In this particular one, we've got the crossfall for the roads, the water table drains and what have you, all shown there, and these are all indicating in some ways particularly what we might call typical cross sections. And again these ones here are various fill, cut and fill, and what have you. Alright, now this here is typically, although it's a bit blurry, this is a series of cross sections. So if we take our long section down the middle of the road, remembering that our cross sections are at right angles to our long section, then we can do sections here. We've done every 100 meters down the road, and you can sort of get a visualization of what's happening with the road and with the cross section, and the way the geometry or the configuration of the land is going. And it's quite typically, these are shown in lists like this, and with various bits of information on them that are quite helpful for those people constructing the road. Now what we call the typical cross section, in this case is in 3D, is quite a useful tool in road construction for showing various aspects of how things are going to fit together. Like we can see gas main, water main, and electricity here, telephone cables under the road. Got to keep a bit of a separation between electricity and telecoms, because of the inductive electricity effect can affect the comms. There we've got our curb, footpath, or sidewalk, footpath as we call it here in New Zealand, a sidewalk in other places, the carriageway, various manholes, sewers and what have you. This is a fairly simpler simple cross section, and here you have a way more complex one. Looks like it's rendered out of some sort of computer program, but showing a more complex sort of cross section there of perhaps a bridge, or it looks like a bridge type situation there. So the cross section has many uses, in this case combined with like the 3D effect, so we can see that it's a slice at right angles, usually to the center line. Here again, some more sort of typical cross sections for some different situations. For road, this has been used as part of a planning document, so people can get an idea of the different types of road and size of road. And this is a fairly common theme from my search of the internet for various pictures. So again, another typical cross section here of some sort of either proposed cross sections or actual cross sections, or what's actually happening and how things are fit together, just to illustrate to people what's going on in these cases, and how the road and cyclists and pedestrians are all going to interact. Again, here's another one here. In terms of just showing a landscaping view for a particular road or track or whatever. Again, it's a fairly sort of like typical cross section, but for a specific purpose. And again, here's another one with a road with a separated carriageway there, pedestrians and motorists well separated, and over quite a wider area. And notice the distances here shown in feet, so that indicates that it's probably somewhere from the US of A, or a country that has some sort of imperial system. And again, here's another one, a little bit more detail. So the cross sections can be used to show all sorts of detail and what have you in a typical sense across the road, and not necessarily confined to roading, but here we can see slices of vertical sort of cross section there, perhaps showing different materials or strengths of materials, and again the cross sections showing showing up there. So the cross section is a fairly useful tool for a two-dimensional representation of something there to enable us to visualize what a particular road will look about. Now, not, as I said, not confined to everything. It can be very much confined to our native symbol, the kiwi there. And apparently I haven't actually sliced one up myself to know what the story is, but hey, nonetheless, let's finish off with that. And finally, just a little thing here that I found in my search through the internet for cross sections and examples of cross sections. Cheers!